holy shit balls of fire. That was one powerful full moon ceremony that I don't know. That was probably one of the top powerful full moon ceremonies I've ever done. This time last year was when Transcendence flowed through really strongly. It was really epic. And this almost like, I want to say, topped all of that in a way. Like this would, I'm speechless. I'm speechless, right? We obviously just came out of the full moon ceremony, but I've got a really important message to share with you guys. Yes, it kind of streams from the full moon ceremony, like 100%. But before I say anything, I really want to check in with how you guys are feeling. Because yesterday, so type in the comments, let me know how you're feeling. Okay, and I'll just share this before I say what was happening yesterday, because, oh my gosh, like, next level, what on earth's going on? I'm just going to turn this off.
Power off.
So that we don't have echoing things going on. So hi, hello. Let me know how you guys are feeling, because this is like, I want to say next level epic, but it's like huge messages about what I'm going to say. Tired, yes, very lots of tiredness going on for sure. So we're in the Pisces full moon. It's a harvest moon where things obviously come to harvest. Like we're reaping what we've sowed, basically. All right, so I'll just share this. Okay. Oops. Is that correct? What's happening? I think so. I don't know. Hang on a sec. I'm just going to start again. All right. Yeah, I got some big messages for you guys. So just give me a sec while I share this. Trying to figure it out. Thought I had it, but what's happening? What's happening? All right, hopefully it's gonna let me do it now. Honestly, I reckon that's topped the most powerful full moon ceremonies, and I'm just feeling into it. I'm like, yeah, it was one of the most powerful and very intense, and I really want to talk about this intensity that people are feeling right now, because like, there was this really strong message about intensity in the ceremony. Okay, I don't know why it's not letting me share. It's really annoying. I'm just gonna let that go. And I'm just gonna message my team to do it because I'm busy. Okay, cool, whatevers. All right, so yeah, really want to check in with how you are because of this, like, it's pretty intense energy at the end of the day. And now I'm just going to bring up this on my computer so I can see your comments so I don't. Thank you, Tamara, because I was getting frustrated. I'm like, whatever's. Whatevers. Okay. So hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome. Thank you, Krista. Tracy, hello everybody. So Deanne says, hi, I've been feeling like I'm all over the place. Woke up at 3:30 a.m. I felt amazing. So I did my normal routine and sat outside and watched the sunrise and was all ready for the day. But now I'm feeling confused. Okay, awesome. Because we're not awesome, but thank you for sharing that, because this is very much the energies. So yeah, love the setup. Yeah, it's our beautiful full moon ceremony energies. And I just want to explain this a little bit because it's very much, I want to say Pisces moon. It's very much a destruction of the old world into the new world, which is exactly what's happening now, right? So it was the fire. It's almost like the ring of fire, if you may. For the first time, I had to have an actual water bowl in, like there's a bowl of water in there. and I actually used my singing bowl. And even when I was like filling it up, I'm like, I don't think this is made for water. And I don't think, like, I don't know, is this gonna ruin my singing bowl? Like, probably. There's a piece of hematite in the water, which is spiritually grounding, which makes total sense now. I didn't get that message in the full moon, but Sarah, it makes total sense now because, you know, like literally the worlds are merging now. And what I mean by that is, like, if we look at the old 3D world crumbling, what is happening is literally like the worlds are merging. So who remembers, I'm pretty sure it was in December last year. Oh, was it last year? And it was like, people were like, the earth's splitting in two. And I'm like, but now the worlds are merging back to one. It's like oneness. So really strong in the full moon ceremony was very much, not that there's a masculine and a feminine balance anymore. Not balance. There's not a separation between man and woman anymore. It's merging into oneness, right? It's merging into oneness. And now if we look at what's happening with transhumanism on the planet, there's a very dark aspect to that. Like it is, yeah, it's a very dark aspect to it. However, on the flip side, on the light side, it's a return to oneness. Yeah, it's a return to oneness. And so, yeah, so lots of anxiety. Okay, so let me share yesterday. So yesterday I even had a trust intuition training to do, and I totally like floored. Like I woke up and I was just like, whoa, what's going on? Like I just felt weird. And I chose to postpone the training because I got up, had my shower, did all normal, you know, routine stuff. And I was like, I don't know, I'm still not feeling good. And I literally was like, went back to sleep for 40 minutes. And then I woke up and I was like, I could have pushed through the training, but I was like, I'm not feeling 100%. I've just felt weird. So when you talk about confusion, calm, like, and I just felt like almost sick, but I wasn't sick. Like it was just a weird ass feeling, almost feverish, but not feverish. And I'm like, what is going on? And so anyway, I postponed the training, which is something I never really do, but I like trusting my intuition and being gentle and listening to my intuition, etc. And so in that, it really allowed me to drop into a space. So I had grief come up, which was unexpected because you might have seen my post on my birthday, and I'd said, and thank you, by the way, for all my beautiful birthday wishes. I really felt really touched by that. And I was in so much peace over the weekend, right? And leading up to it, like I've had a whole birthday month and I'm like, this is my birthday month. This is, you know, and I really want you guys to take this birthday example about how to create an epic life in the world that is crumbling around us. I've had so many messages about this and I've just been in my own little zone, but I actually have been in a cocoon and I've got so many amazing things about to burst out of me because of this cocoon. So I've been obviously reevaluating how I serve you guys, etc., etc. So anyway, that's a little side note. So as I'm walking into my birthday day and the week leading up to it, it was like there was so many things that could have pulled me off and pulled me down. Like there actually was, right? And even on my birthday, like I was just like, it's my birthday. I'm not even choosing to, you know, it wasn't spiritual bypassing. It wasn't that I wasn't feeling the emotions. I'm like, sure, any of those things could have freaking pulled me down, like 100%. But I was like, it's my birthday. I'm not choosing to like go into that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bawl my eyes out. I'm not going to, you know, like I could have done that. Right. And it wasn't, I want to say it wasn't spiritual bypassing. Yesterday when I broke down crying, I was like, oh, maybe I was upset about that. But at the same time, I held a zone. I held a reality. I held a vibe. I made a choice to stay here, because I didn't want to be upset on my birthday, right? For example, right? And I guess I'm just sharing that with you because even though yesterday I did find myself crying about it, at the same time it showed a mastery and a choice over, do we let things affect us and pull us down, or do we choose to walk in the higher realms? And again, this isn't about bypassing. I'm like a queen of understanding that. Trust me, trust me. But this is about a mastery of where we're placing our time, our energy, our focus, because in these times, the contraction is strong. The pulling down into the 3D is strong. The choice here comes from choosing to be in the 5D in choosing the 3D or the 5D. Now, how you choose that or how you know which one you are. So even myself had sort of like sinusy stuff, like before the full moon ceremony, I was like, like I was aware of it. And then even one of the people who were in the full moon ceremony, she's like, oh my God, before we started, sinus, all the stuff, and now it's gone. And I'm like, yeah, that's the shift that we just had. And it's very much around like, are you in the 3D realm or in your 5D realm? Now, as I've been like tuning into this, I'm like, what happened to me yesterday? Like just, you know, obviously always get information about stuff and it always comes in eventually. So yes, yesterday, my body was like, what is happening? Like, I was just like, what is happening? Like in my mind, I'm like, where is this coming from? Because I'm fine, right? But my body was like, and it was after talking to a client this morning before the full moon ceremony, it was very much around my body was stuck in the 3D. My body was experiencing 3D symptoms, if you may, right? Now, this might sound really disjointed or stuff, but this is where our level of mastery comes in, and this is where we merge both worlds together. So in the 5D, it is the love, it is the abundance, it is the energy, you know, and there's more than just 3D and 5D, of course, but these two energies are really strong right now. This is the split, if you may, but this is also the remerging of the earth and the new earth being born. And what that means is a sense that like there's fear, there's anxiety, there's confusion, there's all those things. And we get kind of pulled into it, sucked into it, especially depending on what you're watching, what you're plugging into, right? And this is why it's so important to unplug from whatever you're watching, because if you are feeling, and the thing is, guys, most of the time, you do not even realize that you're tense. You do not even realize that you're walking around, you know. So yeah, awesome question, Gayan. So what is the difference between 3D and 5D? So this would be 3D. I'm going to give you lots of examples here, okay? 3D is your mind. 5D is your heart. 3D is fear, anxiety, stress. Oh my God, oh my God, the world's falling apart. Like, oh my God, we can't do this. Oh my God, there's a virus. Oh my God, we need to wear, oh my God, what? Oh my God, these people are not doing, 3D. 5D, heart, can breathe again. In that ceremony, and by the way, guys, I'm fast tracking. I'm getting my team to get onto getting this out so I can re-record it and get it out to you guys ASAP. I'm like, the world needs this now. Like what we just channeled and what we just experienced in that is a lift out of the 3D into 5D, but it's not just that. It's a transmutation of the anxiety, of the confusion, of the sickness, of the, you know, mental disillusion crap that's going on in the world. It's a transmutation of that and emerging, and a plasma. Like the plasma light came through so strongly. The plasma light got us, okay? So these energies are tangible right now. So right now we can experience the 5D or the 3D, okay? So when you ask me what is the difference is freaking out, stress, oh my God, how am I gonna do this? Waking up in the middle of the night, not being able to breathe, sickness, ill health, fighting, fear, violence, that's 3D. 5D is, I can breathe. I can breathe. You have to remember that 3D and 5D will always coexist. It's not that we're ascending to 5D and now we're not here anymore and I don't have to deal with that crap. Because your head and your heart are always connected. The 3D and the 5D will always exist as long as we are in physical 3D reality, which we are. And if we weren't, we wouldn't be in this reality anymore. But we are here. You are not crazy and you're not losing it. No, you might have just been plugged into the 3D for a minute. Because we can be in our heart and still be in the 3D. And this ceremony is exactly what we just experienced with that and how to do that. This ceremony, and I'm going to get this out, this is an activation for you guys to master your skills, to master your intensity, to master everything that's going on in the world, because I guarantee you it's only going to get more intense. For the next 2 years, it's just going to amplify, and you are going to go crazy and lose it if you do not know how to master the intensity. Because let's face it, if you're here, if you're in reality awareness, you get told you're too emotional, you're crazy, there's something wrong with you, don't talk about that, don't be psychic, don't talk to angels, what are you talking to the trees for? What do you mean you take sunlight as your medicine? What? Right? If you are in reality awareness, you would be experiencing that at some point in your life, right? when we step into 5D, we can breathe again, right? Those too much, too anxiety, you feel too much, you're too connected to nature. You are an intense energy because you are real. You are real. You are so innately connected, and it is intense for people because the power is in how real you are. But it's just normal for you. I'm like, isn't this normal for you? Because it is normal for us. Now the world, what is happening in the world, this crumbling of the old world, is intense. Why? Because it's change. But us, we're masters at change. We change with the seasons. We change our mind 50 times a day. We change our knickers probably the same. We change everything all the time because that's what we do. Otherwise it's stuck in a stagnant and we're like, get me out of here. I need freedom. I don't want a part of this. Get me out of here. I want freedom. But that's normal for us. Now what's happening in the world is that we're going through change, and change is intense. But this is our middle name. Intense is our middle name. And when we learn to master and harness, interesting, Ohana, what's that? Is that the movie, Ohana? Anyway, when we master our intensity, this is where we step into our power. This is where we transmute all the crap going on in the world. This is where we transmute our own anxiety, our fear, our confusion, all the things, because we remember that we are this. This is who we are. This is our intent. This is our gift. This is who we are. This activation that I'll get out to you by the end of the week, because this is like needed. This was like next level. Like I'm speechless. Can you guys feel the energy from it? I'm still speechless. Can you feel the power from this ceremony, just from what I'm talking about, just from what we there's no words to describe it. 5D is I'm powerful, I am strong, I am confident, I am clear, I am grounded, I am connected, and I can see through the bullshit. I'm so here and present. I am love. I can love you. I can hold you. Because what came through was the plasma light. Now, I got the strong message that the plasma light, as we travel through the photon belt right now, this is what Pam Gregory said in her astrology update. I always get Pam Gregory and Pam Leo confused, like for serious. Okay, the astrologer. She said that we're traveling through the photonic belt right now. And I'm like, does that happen every year around this time? Because last year, this time was very powerful energy as well. The plasma light is literally like you could drink it. It's like, and the sense that I got in the full moon ceremony was light is coming into a tangible physical form. This is 5D. When something crumbles, water fills the space. There is no gaps in water. There is no holes. Water fills the space of in between all the rocks and in between all the crumbling. Water fills the whole thing. It holds the whole thing. 5D holds the 3D and says it's okay to cry. I'm here. You're safe. You're going to be okay. That's what hearts do. That's what 5D does. Even when we're confused or in anxiety, or 5D wraps it up and says it's okay, you're going to be all right. This is your gift. This is your mastery. This is who you are. If you are too much, if you're too emotional, if you're being told you're crazy, if you're too connected, why are you soaking in the sun for your medicine? What? What are you talking about? If you are one of those people, you have a massive fucking heart. It is who you are. And that is your power. You are intense because you love so damn much. Because you have so much love to give. And when you do not have anyone to give that to, you suffocate and you die. Your soul dies and shrivels up and you become this tiny little thing that's just like, where have we gone? The plasma light is like you can breathe again. What happened today was also a global healing. What we traveled and integrated, I'm not even going to share that other bit because that was just like unexpected that came through. You're going to have to experience that for yourself when I release it towards the end of the week, because that was just next level. I kind of forgot about this until this moment, hence why I'm just back in it again. It not only transmutes all the stuff on the planet that's going on, it transforms your intensity. You are intense, that's your gift. Because we master intensity is how we become, we are the leaders, we are the light. You were not born into society to be in society. You've always been on the outskirts. You've always been the black sheep. You've always been the person who gets kicked out of all the groups because you're one of the leaders. You're not meant to be in all the groups. You're not meant to be fitting in because you're here to be the guiding light through humanity's greatest change. That's what you're here for. Own it. That. Right? I pulled several cards. I was like, let's just pull a card at the end of ceremony. And I was like, it's just going to confirm what we did. And at the end of ceremony, I was shuffling. And of course, I know it's back to front, the Queen card fell out. And I'm like, of course, the Queen, the woman, fertility, feminine power, sexuality, friendships. It's time to reclaim your queendom, your kingdom. Vishnu says, yes, I feel like a loner, definitely black sheep. Exactly. I've been kicked out of groups too. It's the worst feeling in the fucking world. But then we realize, we are the group. We are the fucking group. So on point, Gemma says, yep, that's what happened today. Exactly. Kamkar says, wow, I was all stuffy and nasally earlier. Thought it was just allergies. Yeah, this is the transmutation. This is the light coming into form, right? The other card that we pulled, this one, this is like, I'm not even going to share what happened in the rest of the ceremony. You need to experience that for yourself. But look what's coming out of her forehead, out of her crown, out of her third eye, like... You are the light. You are the leader. This is who you are, right? I'm just going to read this bit because it's a very important message that I want you guys to hear now, because it's definitely part of it. I can just pull it up wherever it is here. See, this is the thing, right? I'm going to read this and I'm going to explain it a bit because you have to be in the ceremony to really understand what I'm about to say. But it says, a way through the struggle has already been created for you. That is your heart. It's right there. Just need to breathe the plasma light in. So when I release this activation towards the end of the week, I'm actually going to do an option for a bundle, because there's an ancient blooded healer activation that I've been sitting on for quite so many months. And over the weekend, that's why I've been in my little cocoon, I was called to record that. And the Ancient Blooded Healer, there's the Oceanic Codes, there's a triple bundle that I'm putting in, almost like a triple goddess, if you may. This one makes up the third one. So you can buy this one individually, or you can buy them as a bundle. Because, covered in goosebumps, because the power and the activation coming through these three activations, they're journeys. They're literally journeys, right? I've never been drawn to ayahuasca. It comes and goes and I'm like, I don't need to. I'm like, this is my ayahuasca. This, your authentic soul path may include recognition, acclaim, notable success, and admiration. Be grateful, but do not be dazzled or distracted. Focus on what connects you to your heart. This is what it means. You are a leader. That's why you're here, right? Focus on what connects you to your heart and grounds in the simplicity of spiritual truth, which is the practice of love, kindness, and peace. That's what leaders do. True leaders. Leaders of the new world. Of bringing the light into physical reality. That's what leaders do. That's what we're here for. There's always a light and a dark balance. There always will be until something really radically shifts. but it's how do we walk both paths? How do we walk both worlds whilst holding this? This is your gift. This will allow successful progress in the material world without disturbing the sanctity of your soul. Exactly that. This is the 5D transmuting. It's not that the 3D world's going to disappear. No, it's that they merge and we find ways to live together. That is the new earth. The world's not going to drastically disappear unless somebody lets off a nuclear bomb, and that's a whole nother story that I don't want to go into right this second. But it's also a reality that we can choose, and when we choose to merge and walk together as one, this is the masculine and feminine, where I said it's not separate anymore. We're merging into oneness. The transhumanism that is coming out on the planet at the moment, yes, there's a dark side, but there's a light side. It's called oneness. It's called returning to the light. It's called oneness. And at any given moment, we can choose to walk in the dark or we can choose to walk in the light. And it is a choice. It's not that we don't break down crying. It's not that we never feel. Feeling is our power. Intensity of emotion is our power. It's how we learn to master that and walk in both worlds as one. Yeah? It says, I just want to read this next paragraph. In the mysticism of the Kabbalah, Ein Sofer is the first and truest light. It emerges from the absolute, which is pure emptiness, beyond all characteristics, phenomena, and form. The capacity to create something from apparently nothing is one of the definitions of magic. Ein Sofer is the universe pulling rabbits out of hats on a cosmic scale. This is what you need to hold true. You need to write that down. Press replay when I finish and write that down. The capacity to create something from apparently nothing is one of the definitions of magic. Ein Sofer is the universe pulling rabbits out of hats on a cosmic scale. This, you have to understand that the world is not set in stone. The trajectory of where our earth is going is up to us to choose what we're going to create and put energy into. This is where your power is. This is where your magic is. This activation, if you're not sure how, will show you how you can be in your power and still be in love for the crumbling world. It is not that we are better than the 3D. It's not that we're better than the violence. It's that we learn to transmute it. It's that we learn to be able to hold it. It's that we learn to walk with it, with this. Because it ain't going away anytime soon. As much as we'd like to click our fingers and it all be over, we need to learn to walk in the dark with the light turned on to transmute it, to create a whole new world. Alchemy, exactly. This is exactly what this is talking about. Look, Ein Sofer is the universe pulling rabbits out of hats on a cosmic scale. That is where the alchemy is. That is where our choice is, our power, is our light, is our intensity of our emotion and our connection to the universe. That is what we are putting into the world of what we're choosing to focus on, not ignore, choosing to focus on and still holding, because that plasma light trickles all into the gaps. Remember, in the crumbling, the plasma light holds the space in between all the crumbles. Remember that. You guys know, like, that makes sense, right? Like if something is broken and you put water in it, it's going to fill the space where all the brokenness is. That's how it works. That's how this works. Yeah? Do you guys really get that? Because the spiritual light emerges from the spaciousness of infinite potentiality. It is imbued with endless creativity, resourcefulness, and spontaneous responsiveness. Whatever is needed is made manifest, provided to the receptive heart, and will benefit all beings. Let me tell you a little story. I've been coming out of survival mode, not just from a trauma space, but from, oh my God, the world's collapsing. You know those people who are like, what are they called? The survivalists? They're like, they're preparing for the apocalypse, right? The preppers. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? I've been in a little bit of that space. I don't know if it's just living out in the country or what I experienced last year. I'm like, fuck, I need to like prepare, right? This is a huge, like, take these gifts, what I'm about to tell you, right? This is huge. The preppers, the end of the world. actually the end of the world is kind of already here. The crumbling is already happening and it's going to get worse before it gets better. I've been in survival mode, in a sense of prepper mode. I'm like, okay, get organized, Hannah, get prepared, get shit done. Like, I've been in that space, right? I have doomsday preppers, thank you. We're kind of in it right now, right? And I've been in that space. And do you know what? I've been breaking down because I'm like, fuck, I'm not ready, right? I'm like, I want shipping containers full of food. I want all this stuff, like, you know, like get prepared. And I don't have the capacity on my own to do it, right? I've been breaking down about that. Not overly, but, you know, at times, right? Not so much now. This is a few months back, right? And I started to step out of it. Do you know the biggest thing that just shifted me? It's huge. This is like massive. This is like the biggest thing you will ever take away with you, right? I want to say you don't need to be prepared because the wolf, you are. Now let me explain this, okay? Because that paragraph basically confirms everything that I've been receiving about doomsday preppers. No offense to them, I'm talking like for myself. So that I can come back into a state of balance, so that I can come back into 5D, so that I can come back into my heart, so that I can come back and channel this that confirms everything that I was just been getting in the past like month, right? A few things helped me trigger this realization. Let's think worst doomsday prepper thing. Apocalypse, like full nuclear explosion stuff. You're gonna need bunkers, you're gonna need food to last, you're gonna need water, you're gonna, like, there's a lot of preparation that goes into that. Like, insane, right? Huge. At the end of the day, there's gonna be a lot of people wiped out. If that happens, I personally don't think we're gonna get to that because there's too many of us choosing this now. We're changing the trajectory of the outcome by choosing this, okay? I realize through the universe showing me things, number one, I watched The 100 on Netflix, and there's certain scenes that teach me certain things. That's why I watch certain things, because I get shown things. So there was a scene or a couple of scenes in The 100, and they'd been off planet Earth for I don't know, 100 years or something, I think, or something like that. And because of the nuclear explosions, and a few people had left the planet in space shuttles and they'd been living out in space waiting for the Earth to return, like 100 years later, right? Whatever. They returned, it was safe, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, they found underground bunkers. And do you know what? All the food stores and food supplies, they weren't even in existence because they'd just disintegrated. They weren't there. The gunpowder in the guns didn't work. It had been sitting there too long. Like, and so it's like a reality. It's like the prepper thing, I'm like, nothing lasts. I'm like, so it's kind of pointless? You're going to be in a bunker, or, you know, and on that show, like, some of the things ended up eating humans because they didn't have any food left. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, really? The only thing that did last was like hydroponic, was actually seeds, and they grew back, etc. Long story short, that's not the point. The point is, okay, the point is I was like, oh, now this is a couple of months back. I didn't really think much of it, right? I'm still doing my thing. Then I also watched The Gift recently. At the end of The Gift, right? And one of the scenes, she's like in another realm, which is like desert. She's like on Earth, but she's not. She's like in desert. There's no water. There's like, you know, buildings have crumbled. It's whatever, ancient land or whatever, but she's, you know, there's no water. And her and her daughter are walking around. They're like, you know, what is it? Dehydrating. They're like going to die from not having water. But her, with her gift, follows her heart, is connected to that energy that we all feel, that we're so connected, that is so intense for some people. This is our gift. Our intensity is our gift. She walks around in the middle of the desert. She places her hands with her daughter on the ground, and she closes her eyes, and you can hear all the humming sounds. And all of a sudden, up out of the ground, Mother Nature pulls up a spring of water, and the water starts spurting out of the ground. Well, how about that? These two scenes showed me so much. No matter how much prepping I do, I will never be prepared. Now, before I came, to seeing those things, what did in between that, somewhere in between that, and something did spark it, and I can't remember what it is. I think that's what it is. It was like I could buy all the food that I wanted. I could spend all this money on canned food, on foods that last for 10 years. And I'm like, 10 years out of 100 years? I'm like, come on, it's not really like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense, right? I could do all of that. At the end of the day, I will never have enough. Do you know why I would never have enough? I want you guys to tune into this. Why would I never have enough? I want you guys to comment in and tell me, why would I never have enough? If I was to buy all the food, all the proper food, the dehydrated food, like all the freeze-dried food that they take up to space, like, and stock my cupboards up, like I would never have enough. Why? Why would I never have enough? Tell me, put some answers in. I'll read these comments in a minute. I just want you guys to tune in. Why would I never have enough? Why would I never have enough? Jan says there's never enough. Well, I would never have enough because the never enough comes from the 3D. It comes from the fear, the scarcity, the lack. It comes from the world where there isn't enough. I would never have enough because that comes from the 3D world of the fear and the scarcity and the mental lack and like, oh shit, that comes from that reality. There would always be a need for more, right? There is never enough because I'm like, well, if I was going to last like 100 years or 200 years, or what about my daughter's daughters? Like, I'm never going to have enough. I'm never going to be able to buy enough. Why? Because it's in the 3D world. But as soon as we flick, we can be walking around a desert and place our hands on the ground because we're that intuitive and we know and we connect with the earth and she hears us and we hear her and water comes up. The other shift was that I could buy as much canned and frozen, freeze-dried food, whatever it is. At the end of the day, they all have a use-by date. Because I've been talking with my daughter. I'm like, how long is that going to last though? She's like, well, chocolate's 2 years. Like, we're going through all the use-by dates, right? And I'm like, well, this, and I've started to already feel like this is over months of figuring this out, right? And I'm like, well, this doesn't make sense. I'm like, everything's going to go up. I'm like, what, 6 months not going to the shop? Like, come on. So then I started going into the seed thing, right? Now, seeds, like if you guys have been following my stories, you would have seen over the past couple of months, the lettuce that came up in my garden, like, because when I take everything out, like I save as many seeds and then the rest I just throw back in the soil and I'm like, whatever, right? And all of these like seeds came up by themselves after rain. I wasn't even like, and they were so thick and they were massive, like they were really tall and they were so healthy and strong. And so when it was just growing and, so maybe from that experience as well, but it was just like, no, if I want to do anything, I'm going to learn how to continue on the seed thing because seeds sit dormant for so long, right? And it just needs a bit of water and then they start germinating. Like they have a protective casing. That's why if you eat almonds or nuts or seeds that are not being activated, meaning you don't soak them in water before you eat them, you're eating a dormant seed. It needs water to start the growth process and then you're eating an alive food. I'm digressing. However, the point is that the seed thing, right? So if I'm going to do anything, it's hydroponic setup. Am I going out and sorting that out now? No. No. Do you know why? Because I've realized the truth of this. Now I was drawn to watching another show, right? And it showed me that. It was like another doomsday thing, right? I don't know why I'm drawn to that. I guess I'm learning, right? And it made me remember my power because this is how I've always been. I've done everything without anything. I've signed up to the highest level of mentors without the money to pay for her, but the money showed up when I pressed the button, right? I've traveled around Australia, not fully around. I've crossed the country when I was 18 with nothing. Well, I think I had $500, right? Is that going to get you across? No, probably in petrol, not even, right? I've traveled last year without having the means to be ready to do that. I just did it and everything showed up on the path. This is exactly that, right? It says here, Ein Sofer is the universe pulling rabbits out of hats on a cosmic scale. Because the spiritual light emerges from the spaciousness of the infinite potentiality, everything is in there. It says, it is imbued with endless creativity and resourcefulness and spontaneous responsiveness. When you need something, the universe provides. When you step up and you do something, the universe provides. On the other doomsday show thing that I watched, like they were crossing the United States in a car, and everything powers out, it's all deserted, and they just happened to see like a train wreck that happened to have army tanks on it that he went over, and there was fuel there, so they filled up the car. And I was like, see, that shit happens to me all the time. Not the army trucks and stuff, but you get the point. When I am in flow, right, the universe is, it says, imbued with creativity, resourcefulness, and spontaneous responsiveness. We are intuitive and we do things that create what we need on the go. We don't think about it, we do it. It turns up. We are the creators as we create it. The universe has everything we will ever need. We don't need to store stuff, because everything always shows up. Of course, be prepared with what you feel you need to be prepared. Like, sure, I love seeds now. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, seeds are the things that are gonna last forever, because nature is a seed, right? Whatever is needed is made manifest, provided to the receptive heart. Do you see? This is the 5D, the heart. Whatever is needed is made manifest provided to the receptive heart. Do you see this? And will benefit all beings. This is like the story of like what Moses parting the water and like Jesus or whatever, and they find them food and stuff, like because they're just following their intuition, walking along, whatever they're doing. This is what this is talking about. In a world that is crumbling, there is an abundance everywhere. In a world where you're losing jobs, where money is, whatever's happening, there is an abundance here. But you have to be here to be able to receive that. The creativity, it is infinite potentiality. This is why systems are being built outside the systems that are crumbling. This is why I posted yesterday or whenever, if you're still focusing on the crumbling, you're missing the gaps where the new earth is being born. This is in the gap. This is in the crack. This is what's coming up to be born. Yeah? Do you guys feel that? Do you guys feel that shift? Do you see now why it's so important to get your queen back on and do this? Because this is the way you've always done it. And it's going to benefit everybody. Do you guys feel that? This is where intuition comes in. Yeah? Kirsty says survival voice over heart voice collide. Yeah, and this is the activation where we walk with it. We merge with it. This is where it's not running away from, right? However, for me personally, if something happens in a city, the first thing I'm going to do is get in my car and drive out. Like, in a way, like, yes, have a plan, but don't be in fear about the plan. Walk with the plan, walk with your heart, because your heart always guides you and you are always in the right place at the right time. If you're listening to your heart and you're following the light and you're following your intuition, why? Because it is imbued with endless creativity, resourcefulness, and spontaneous responsiveness. Do you get that? Spontaneous in the moment, like we're being spontaneous. Let's do this, yeah? Responsiveness. It is having a spontaneous response to what you're needing, no matter what's happening. All you need is your connection. Do whatever you need to do to strengthen your connection right now. Do whatever you need to do to keep you here. Your connection is your heart. Your connection is what you love. Your connection is being happy in a world that is crumbling, because you are able to be the resourcefulness guide that benefits all being. You have the receptive heart. While everyone else is in fear, you're the receptive heart, right? That will benefit all beings. You're able to catch that infinite potentiality with endless creativity, resourcefulness, and spontaneous responsiveness, because you are a gift. You've always been on the outskirts of the groups, of the families, of the towns, of the cities, because you are this, and for a reason. And this is why I keep saying over and over again, I said, our time's coming. People are going to need us. I'm like, our time's coming. Get ready. This is what I'm talking about. Don't need to be in fear at all, because everything is provided because you're here. You've always been that way. Haven't you? Yeah? There is a lot of plasma light coming into the planet at the moment. Like I said, for me, understanding plasma light is that light is coming into tangible form. It's coming into a liquid. It's like a liquid light. That's what it feels like. When you breathe that in, you can breathe deeper immediately, right? What are you saying here? So Kirsty says, I wish for rain yesterday as I felt the air needed a cleanse, and it rained. This is what I'm talking about. Jan says, anyone else pausing? No. Okay, mine's okay. Sometimes it might be just the reception where you are. This is this. Yeah, this is this, guys. I wish for rain yesterday as I felt the air needed a cleanse, and it rained. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Spontaneous responsiveness because of your heart, because of your open, receptive heart. Yeah? Peace was felt immediately. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Hannah. You always give me clear guidance. Exactly. Yes. The answer is on my heart. Yes, exactly, guys. Right? Exactly. So hopefully this even helps even more of what I just shared. And this activation, like I said, I'll get it out, and I'll get it out as a triple goddess bundle coming out at the end of this week. You can buy it separately if you wanted to, but you can have the bundle, because this is our work. This is our work. This is our work. This is our work. Yeah. So if you ever feel like there's never enough, just know that you're in 3D and not 5D, because instant switch is a choice. Actually, I'm going to choose that the universe always provides. I'm going to choose that I always have everything I need. I'm going to choose that everything always works out the way that I want, when I want, and now I have. I'm so grateful. Yeah? So Jan says, last year, I'm just going back through comments for a moment. Last year with COVID, when people wiped out all the shelves, that's when my panic started, but not this time. It's not happening. It's happening again. I'm not crazy. Exactly. And this is the thing where we're choosing, right? We're understanding there's an infinite supply. Like, look, food's back on the shelf. Because was there ever really a shortage? No. People make that stuff happen. I'm not saying humans, us, the people who are in charge, right? Right? Yeah, this is why you never fit in. Exactly. We're not fucking born to fit in. We're not. Stop trying. Stop trying. Just do the queen you. Be the intense you. This is your gift. You are the light. This is where it's supposed to be. Right? For a reason. So I hope that kind of releases the doomsday stuff. Because as I said, the trajectory of the planet is not yet set in stone. We are creating it every single moment, and it's time to get back to this and unplug from everything else that is not this. And you might feel guilty in the start when you start being happy and choosing your heart, but you have to remember that this is the light that people need. This is the leaders people need, because the other leaders are in the dark. And we need people in the light. We need the hope. We need the light of hope to be turned back on, because that, and honestly, what you experience in this ceremony, in this activation that I'll release at the end of the year, end of this week, not the end of the year, is like, and I'm like now curious. So I'm like, because this is also spring equinox here. I guess it would be autumn equinox for you guys, but I think we're coming up next week or something. And so the next 3 months is like imbuing this energy. This is powerful. This is powerful. Vishnu says, I've been watching Bewitched every day and wondering if we can just make things appear instantly, and my guides say yes, because of this. Just like on the gift, where she placed her hands on the earth And even in the gift, right, it was like confirming, because I always put my hands on trees, on the ground, and I like see visions of what happened, who's walked here, etc. Right? That's normal. And then in the gift, she's doing that. And, you know, and they're saying through all the goddess guides or whatever, like, you know, the earth can show you what it is or whatever it was saying. And I'm like, oh, that's what I do. I'm like, okay, got it. Of course, that's what I do. Normal, right? And you can't spread joy when you're in the shit. Exactly. Who feels energized, more empowered, and more confident in their life and moving forward from listening to what I've said today? Give me some love hearts if that's a yes. Yeah? Cam says, Queen Hannah, I'm feeling all you were saying. Absolutely, it's full moon tonight. Yeah, so the full moon peak was about 2 hours ago now. And that's when we did the ceremony. So every ceremony that I hold each month is, that's why it's always different each time I hold it, because I work with the moon, obviously, and I plan the full moon ceremony for when she's like, we start about half an hour before she goes into her peak time. So that's why we've just done it this morning here. Thank you for explaining the 3D and 5D. Yay! I'm glad that was able to be clear and understanding that for you guys. Love it. Yes, yes. So Gemma says, still confused, but just got to trust. Okay, awesome. Did you want to let me know which bit you're confused about? I have a feeling that this activation might help you to understand that, because it's such a journey, like this journey that we went on really like shows you, if that makes sense. So yeah, but anyway, let me know if you want to share a little bit about what you're still confused about, because I'm happy to decipher that away for you. So couple of things. Ear chakra consciousness starts tomorrow, and when I was like doing ceremony, I was like, like what, you know, like I was feeling, I'm like, man, we start the ear chakra consciousness tomorrow, and the ear chakra consciousness is so very much in all these different realms, in all these interdimensional realms. There's all these options, there's all these doors, and you get to choose which one you get to open and walk through. Like, and I was getting this with my client this morning too, and maybe it's just the energy's really strong right now, because I also feel this for myself, that right now it is so lucid, it is so translucent, like it is so tangible that you can literally open a door and step into this reality that you are in right now, right? If you've done a lot of personal development work, or even if you haven't, and you can feel this energy, it's like this is literally what you get to create right now, right? So when we are stepping through these doors, it's literally like we have a choice. And in the ear chakra consciousness, we expand on the interdimensional realities. We expand on all the different aspects. We heal through advanced, and this is an advanced training, right? So if you want advanced psychic development, this is a training for you, the ear chakra consciousness. We're going over 5 weeks, I think it is. Yep, 5 weeks. There's 3 live trainings a week, going deep in the ear chakra consciousness realms. We're healing the feminine wounding. This is deeply working to open up to your ear chakra consciousness, which is like healing advanced past lives, like going into interdimensional realms. This is like advancing your skills through your ear chakras. It's like, it's next level. So as I said in the full moon ceremony, I was kind of already getting the ear chakra. I was just like, well, this is going to be, the ear chakra consciousness is going to be next level, of course, right? So, ear chakra consciousness starts tomorrow. The link is in my bio. No, the link's not in my bio. The link, what am I talking on Instagram? Well, the link is in my bio and Instagram as well. The link is in the comments. No, I'll put the link in the comments. The link is in the title of this live stream, or you can find it on my page. You can just simply find it on my damn page, right? Ear chakra consciousness, or send me a message, send me an email, whichever you're watching this through. I'll pop the link in the comments now on Facebook. If you would rather work by my side and have these upgrades by my side, intuition for queens who want it all is open. You might have seen me release this last week. This is literally for the psychic women, the intuitive women, the driven women, the women who know that they are here to do big things in the world and haven't quite stepped into that yet. Or perhaps you're already there, but you want fine tuning of your intuition. That is my gift. I can decipher so many things. This is like my depth of my gift is my gift. My intuition is my gift. And I know that everybody has the capacity to hold this level of gift. My gift is being able to translate those esoteric information, everything that makes you confused, I help you feel clear in. Like that is my gift, right? And deciphering all of the pieces of your intuition, that's what I do. Intuition is for the driven women, for the queens who want it all and who are ready to advance their psychic skills, to advance their intuition, and to be able to take themselves and their intuition to the next level in their life. So this is my private mentoring one-on-one intuition. Like I said, you might have seen me release this for queens who want it all. Send me a message if you know that this is the space that you need to work with me in, or comment intuition below and I can get in contact. We can have a chat to see if this is the right one-on-one mentoringship for you. So yes, Garrett says, I always felt like I'm here for a bigger reason. Like, can you please trust that? Like, it's so important that you trust that feeling, because, you know, like I know some people in the mainstream world, they're like, oh, they're just like saying that to fit in. And it's like, oh, if you only knew. If you only knew the level of internal work that we actually hold in the traveling that we do. But that's why they don't know, because that's our gift, that's our duty, that's our purpose, and there's a reason for that, right? So I've just popped in the soul calling link there, and you can send me a message or just comment intuition below, and I'll get in contact about intuition if you feel that that's the one to work one-on-one with me. All right, so Gemma was just putting this in. So yeah, so new job offer, less money, still feeling you need to see what the meeting is about, and it's after case notes, so it's not a negative meeting, I don't feel. Team leader not present, and with the managers that hired me, so I feel it could be an offer to a different direction within the same organization. And so I feel like that's an open door for you. So the confusion comes in when you feel like, so confusion comes in, two things. I realized this last week. Number one, I always say, if you're confused, you're fused. You're carrying somebody else's energy. You're carrying somebody else's, advice. But it's not right for you, because you knew what was right for you. And then somebody said something and you're like, now you're confused. And if you ever feel that from anyone, even myself, just know that that's not your truth. You already knew the answer. Okay? So number one, but the other form of confusion can be that you just need more information before you make a decision. So that might help to clarify the two confusion pieces that's there. And by the sounds of it, with what you said about, could be an offer, etc., it just sounds like you need more information before you make a decision. So just be at peace with that. Until you get more information, nothing changes, because you need more information before I make a decision. And you're clear on that. Yeah? Tina says, I've been learning about wild plant medicine and food. Yeah, I love that stuff. There is so much out on the earth for us right under our noses. Yes, and consuming them puts us in a stronger alignment with the natural rhythms of the natural world. It is so powerful to consume wild plants and medicine, 100%. I am so drawn to that stuff too. I love that stuff. Yes. Deanne says, I received good news about my MRI results this morning as I expected. I believe that I created the result, not the treatment. Yes. Did I miss the ceremony? You did. It was a couple of hours ago, but the replay's there. And because you're in the inner circle, you'll get the access to the recording straight away too when I record it. So awesome about that. I had in my diary to message you about that, but I had a feeling even when I put it in my diary, I was like, with what you've shifted with me in the inner circle, like since joining, I'm like, it's gonna come back fine. So thank you for that awesome clarity. This just made my day. I'm like, see, I knew that because of the work you did when you stepped in the space with me. Like, you shifted so much. I'm so fucking proud of you. So proud of you. You're so welcome, Leanne. Karen says, I missed the first 15 minutes, but I'm feeling hopeful and encouraged. Awesome. This is what I want for you guys, because this connects you back to your light, to what you know is truth, and you get to create the reality that you want. Yeah? Dan says, so good to hear. We did the full moon ceremony about an hour ago. The replay. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Leanne. Yes, yes, yes. So good. Yeah. Gemma says, I'm in. Yes. So as well, Gemma, you know, like just on that, well, you get to create the thing. And when you said, like, I think you said something along the lines of like, the new job is for less money, but you're not sure. And I'm like, well, you don't accept that. You're like, sure, I'll take this new position, but these are my rates. And if they don't accept that, well, you don't take the job. You know, like you get to choose and create right now, not what other people decide for you. The offer's on the table, sure, they obviously want you. Well, you also put your order in. Yes. So Jian says, my husband finally saw and realized what I can do. 3 things happen and finally realized I have gifts that I can do. Yes. So good, right? So awesome. So people to see that as well. Can the full moon ceremony be posted in Trust Intuition? So in Trust Intuition, you don't get access to it. If you're in the inner circle, you get access to the full moon ceremony. Or, okay, so there's a few options, right? So obviously if you're in the inner circle, you get immediate access to the full moon ceremony. If you're in the inner circle, you get access to everything. So even if you're in the inner circle, you get access to Transcendence Reality Society. To Ear Chakra Consciousness. So there's the inner circle, one-on-one with me, which you get access to everything, and one-on-one with me. And then there's reality awareness inner circle, which is just you get access to everything, just not the one-on-one stuff with me. So if you're in the inner circle, you get access to the full moon ceremony, you get live access, plus you get the recordings, you get any course that I release, you get access to as well. So you just get access to everything, right? So that's the inner circle, that's Transcendence Reality Society. If you are in Trust Intuition, no, you don't get access to the full moon ceremony directly, only if you're in the inner circle. So you can join the full moon ceremony each month. You can just join for once off ceremony, or you can join us as a subscription. So you get access to that every month. But yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah, so Gemma says that's the backup job. I see. Okay, in case I decide to leave dependent on the meeting. Okay, yes. So yeah, so just, you know, I feel for you, Gemma, it's just about getting clear about what you want, what you're willing to tolerate, what you're not, you know, what you're accepting, what you're not. Like, just, I want to say you put your order into this, not to them. Yeah, remember this is the outcome, if that makes sense, yeah? Yeah, Cam says the inner circle. Yes, the inner circle. Transcendence Reality Society. So yeah, and we start the Ear Chakra Consciousness tomorrow. So if you join into the inner circle, you get access to that. So joining the inner circle is actually highly beneficial in, you know, like financial wise, like you get access to everything for a lot less than if you were paying for everything individually separate, of course. So yeah, there's definitely options there. All right, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm glad you feel more empowered and strong and clear, and you get to choose. And if you ever need to, you remind yourself, come back to watch this live stream and or grab this when I release it towards the end of the week, because this will reset you every single time. I love you. Peace on earth, guys. Begins with you and your heart.